the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency, my boss, Professor Naana.
It always brings a joy to see so many women in one space. Congratulations to all. You've all risen in your different spheres, and you know what the journey has been. Easy or not, you are here. Again, congratulations. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, Members of Parliament, our traditional rulers and leaders, Queen Mothers, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and all participants, our media persons too. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. It is March 8th again. It is International Women's Day again. It is a day for all nations, Ghana included, to reflect and to take action going forward. It is a day by recognizing our achievements and going beyond what lays undone and ensuring that they are also done. It is a day to celebrate the historical, social, economic, cultural, and political contributions of all women, and in our context of Ghanaian women, of Gold Coast women, of women who didn't have such names at the time, all over the century, while we also acknowledge persistent difficulties. Sometimes I wonder, all those who have come before us, what opportunities did they have? What contexts did they live in? Today we have challenges, yes, I admit them. But what challenges did they have? Assuming they didn't confront their challenges, maybe we wouldn't be here. So in everything we do and in all things we do, I urge that we do not forget where we have come from. And all those nameless persons who have brought us here. This year's International Women's Day marks the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, a landmark commitment to advancing women's rights globally. So much has been done, so much remains undone. As nations address or assess their progress, we too in Ghana contemplate her achievements, setbacks, and plans for realizing an equitable and fair community of peoples. From expanding women's leadership and economic empowerment to ensuring girls' education, reproductive health rights, and protection from gender-based violence, and other interventions, our progress must be inclusive and sustained. I wish, for example, that on many more days, we'll discuss the issues that affect women, and not leave them to one day in the year. This milestone, the milestone we want to achieve as a country through an inclusive and sustained method, is highlighted by an intersectional, intergenerational women's dialogue, which aims at resetting the agenda for all of us, uplifting all Ghanaian girls and women, whether they are students, babies, parents, traders, farmers or fisherfolk, people in other professions, homemakers or rulers, regardless their backgrounds and abilities or disabilities. they all matter. We must choose to end all forms of violence against women and girls, in whatever form it may take, in whatever rationale we can profess for it, whether human trafficking, domestic violence, accusations of witchcraft, and the resulting instant justice, child marriage, female genital mutilation, or sexual violence. All of these demand our sustained action. Beyond decrying these unhelpful practices, we must interrogate whether there's any reason to justify these and to see them persist like incurable diseases in the space of women in their lives. We must try to tackle the problems at their roots. Ignoring the needs of girls and women, obstructing their pathways to advancement, killing their dreams and clipping their wings. Remember my Angelo's story, I know why the caged bird sings. Enforcing women's acceptance of mediocrity, refusing even to encourage them, glamorizing systems that keep us at the bottom. All of these also constitute unacceptable forms of violence against women, and they require urgent action. Today, we stand in solidarity with women and girls. We must live in dignity. We must be intolerant of any form of violence against girls and women, whether in our homes, in our schools, places of work, places of worship, communities, and any place in our nation. It is time for women, it is time for men too, boys and girls, to choose to end such violations of fundamental human rights. That's the right to grow, the right to choose what helps, the right to contribute to your community, the right to contribute to your nation. It should not be seen as an aberration. We should encourage that. We should applaud and encourage those who step forward. If we strengthen our legal systems, ease access to justice, and guarantee advancement of girls and women, if above all, I suggest, we sustain public dialogue on our achievements as well as on our challenges. If we stop denying, if we stop pretending that our problems don't exist and they surface only one day in the year, we will not be on our way to confronting persistent issues, going beyond debates, one-day celebrations, and rather launch into effective action. I advocate strong public education on this topic. We must take decisive action towards lasting and effective solutions that move our nations forward. We must isolate the reasons, for example, as the rep from UNICEF raised, about the high dropout rates among girls in our schools. If you look at the trajectory, at the foundation, we are all there. And as we move up, why do we not move up too? How come in the end, the image we leave is that of an isosceles triangle? You all remember our math classes. Broad-based, and what do we do with the few who rise to that top? It's very important. And it is interesting that the recommendations outlined in the final report of the Beijing platform some 30 years ago still remain. they are still valid. We haven't made as much progress as we ought to. There is work ahead, distinguished ladies, and I trust that we will all put our hands to the wheel and get the work done. Or you don't agree? You know, there's a topic some of us can speak on forever, but we don't have forever. We have a few hours in the afternoon. Gender-sensitive pedagogy in schools and training facilities is an essential tool towards addressing the gaps in the training system and curbing the recurring problems of dropout rates among girls, for example. Now to think that the natural menstrual cycle of a girl poses a threat to her advancement in education is not acceptable. It was the government of the National Democratic Congress that sought to deal with this problem when I was privileged to serve as minister under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our current president. I leave the public bashing I received for this initiative for another day. We have to meet more often than today. However, I remain deeply comforted on this topic by the manner in which the Forum for African Women Educationalists, based in your country, or headquartered in Kenya, whose board I was honored to chair for 6 years, used this means to help girls remain in school, rise up the ladder. In the 34 African countries we were happy to serve and are still happy to serve. Why do they have better retention rates than we do? Sometimes the problems are very big. The solutions needn't be so big. I'm very happy to report that this time too, we have placed the supply of sanitary pads in our manifesto, and that our current Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, has taken immediate action on it. We must empower girls in different and concrete ways. It is the girls who become the women. No one is born a woman. We are born girl children. It starts from there. And the bottom line remains, in school, lack of access. The bottom line remains for many girls, lack of access to basic needs. So fundamentally, we can look at it as a social and economic problem. All these girls dropping out. We need to do a study, as we started some time ago, about their backgrounds. And you know that very few of us in this room have daughters who drop out. What do we have that we cannot share? Let us meet more and let's share strategies. Our government will do whatever is in its power to propel the well-being of girls and women by creating opportunities for advancement and self-fulfillment, regardless of anybody's background, ethnic group, religious affiliation, no matter what. All girls and women matter. And on my part, I pledge to work with all committed and like-minded persons, male and female, especially with the females, in pursuit of justice and the true liberation of all women from injustice, from economic dependence, from deprivation, from intimidation, from marginalization, to many other obstacles. I will support my country's effort to to eliminate violence in all its forms, not only physical, especially mental. We stand committed to advance women's empowerment and raise the level of gender equality. You know, the affirmative action act now beckons. We all need to make good users of the opportunities in the supreme interest of our country, of our women in particular. I don't believe it is only a matter of counting, although that is important. The counting must go beyond the numbers and translate into effective policies, implementation plans that work, that encourage the young girls behind us to believe in themselves, to know that yes, they can. I commend our traditional authorities, especially our Queen Mothers, for the seriousness with which they carry out their mandate. I also call on all of us to continue to prioritize the welfare of girls and women in our communities. We are all awakening to the benefits that accrue to children, to families, to communities, and the nation when we support women to rise, reach their full potential in all spheres of life. And as I said elsewhere, every talent matters. We must accelerate our action by bringing that knowledge, the knowledge we've had. These lectures have gone on for a long time, haven't they? Hardly are we hearing anything new. So the time to act is now. I want to thank all of you for your kind attention and the time you have spent being here. Have a good afternoon.
We want to wish you our first female vice president. Happy International Women's Day.
Please, let's clap, let's clap, let's clap. Don't make this happen, yeah. If you leave me, I'll have us clap until tomorrow. Let me quickly acknowledge the presence of Madame Akafi Brempon. She's a presidential staffer. Hey. Oh, Shamima. Hi, Shamima Masmel, our deputy presidential spokesperson. Shamima, take a bow. We have also in our midst the first female president of the Ghana Bar Association, Madame Efwa Gaki. We also have the CEO of ASCO, Madame Abigail.
Ambassadors, honorable ministers, honorable members of parliament, our traditional leaders, Queen Mothers, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and respected participants, good afternoon once again. It is truly an honor to be part of this important conversation, and that will take place or shape the future of women's rights, equity, and empowerment in Ghana. I warmly welcome you all to the International Women's Day 2025 Women's Dialogue. While the global theme for International Women's Day 2025 is for all women and girls, rights, equality, empowerment. The focus of our discussion today will center on a theme that resonates deeply with the challenges and opportunities of our time: resetting the agenda for women, accelerating action on women's rights, equity, and empowerment. This theme is not just a call to reflect on how far we've come, but more importantly, a call to action. While we have made many significant progress in advancing the rights and well-being of women, we must acknowledge that there is still much more to be done. The world continues to grapple with inequalities that hinder women's full participation in society. These challenges are multifaceted, spanning issues of education, healthcare, economic opportunities, and perhaps most critically, the fight for gender equality in every corner of our world. However, today is not just about identifying challenges. It is about accelerating action. This dialogue aims at resetting the agenda for women, reaffirming our commitment to advocating for gender equity, women's rights, and their empowerment, and identifying the concrete steps we must take to turn these communities' commitments into lasting transformative change. We are here to create a space for honest conversation, for shared insights, and for collective wisdom that will inspire new actionable strategies. Our collective goal is to ensure that women not only have equal rights, but are fully empowered to shape our destinies and contribute meaningfully to every sector of society. As we discuss how we can reset the agenda for women, let us remind ourselves that this is not an abstract concept. It is about women, real lives, and the real impact we can have when we work together. Whether it is through policy changes, shifting societal norms, or empowering women economically and politically, every single action counts. We are thrilled to be joined today by a diverse group of leaders, advocates, and professionals, each one of whom brings on board unique experiences and perspectives that will enrich today's dialogue. Your voices, your commitment, and your actions are critical in achieving the progress we seek. I encourage you all to engage each other, share your insights, and collaborate on solutions we know are necessary. In conclusion, let this dialogue be a moment of inspiration, a catalyst for action that not only accelerates the progress already made, but pushes us further towards a world where women's rights, equity, and empowerment are truly realized for all. Once again, welcome, and thank you for being a part of this vital conversation. Together, we will continue to advance the cause of gender equality and create a future that is brighter, fairer, and more just for women everywhere. No one should be left behind. Thank you for coming.
Please let's appreciate her. Normally, this
day, a day dedicated to celebrating the strength, resilience, remarkable achievement of women and girls worldwide. I extend my sincere gratitude to you, the Vice President, and your office for organizing this vital event and for your unwavering commitment to the advancement of girls and young women in Ghana. Today we celebrate the progress we have made, acknowledge the challenges that remain, reaffirm our commitment to decisive action. At the heart of our focus is one powerful voice: the girl child, the young women, and the women of Ghana. Over the past years, Ghana has made significant strides in improving the lives of girls and young women through collaborative efforts between government, civil society, private sector, development partners, and communities. We have expanded opportunities and secured rights for girls. In the following key areas, for example, the enrollment rates of girls for primary and secondary have increased substantially, with more girls staying in school longer than ever before. Initiatives such as free senior high school, SHS, policy programs like complementary basic education have been instrumental in ensuring greater learning and progression for girls. The expansion of maternal and adolescent healthcare services has contributed to reduction in maternal mortality and improved access to reproductive health services for young women.